Hello fans and welcome to the first webisode of The Pride here on Imperials TV. On the webisodes we will show you behind the scenes with the players, coaches, staff, and what happens during the games. We will take you behind the scenes last year on what happened in Blaine, Minnesota, XL Energy Center, and all the fun stuff on giving our players a GoPro and doing whatever they want with it. So, excuse me, the smell in this locker room is pretty bad with all this equipment here. So first lesson, we're going to take you over to Josh Funk, our head equipment manager and assistant coach, on how to maintain your equipment to smell a lot better during the season. Josh, take it away.
Hey, how's it going? So I noticed that Gabe was in here looking around at all the equipment. It's kind of dry heaving a little bit because of the smell. One of the big things in hockey that people deal with all the time is the smell of equipment. It's a very unique smell and probably one of the worst smells you'll ever smell. So I'll take you over here. We'll walk you through how the Imperial hockey team dries out their equipment. So one of the big things in making sure equipment is clean is making sure it's dry. So as you can see here, we got Esteban Cortez, his stall right here. We have his pants hanging up, skates are drying out, his gloves, helmet, elbow pads, and shin pads are all up top. Is to make sure that they get a good ventilation of air. Like I said, one of the big things in making sure your equipment smells good is drying it out. Because if you let the moisture in there kind of settle and mold up, all of that smell is just going to build, and it's going to build and build, and pretty soon you're going to have bacteria and all that stuff in there. So it's very important that we dry out the equipment, hang it up, make sure that there's an area for it to drip if it needs to drip, and make sure that there's a cycling through. So one of the other things that we do is have a fan come through here. We have a fan that just pumps air in from the rink to make sure it always stays fresh in here. I'll take you over here. One of the other things that we do here at the Imperials is we have dehumidifiers. This one's full right now because it's been running all day, but we've got dehumidifier in the locker room. And that, again, just takes out moisture. It brings out the moisture a lot quicker, so it's not sitting in the pads and it's not building up bacteria and building up smell. One of the big questions is, how can I get my hockey equipment to smell good or not smell as bad? Everyone has their own personal preferences on what they want to do, but one of the things that I always did was I would use dryer sheets. And I'd rub them in my elbow pads and in my shin pads and then stick them in my hockey bag. And just let that smell kind of freshen up. I've also heard that people use rubbing alcohol. Rub it in there, it kills bacteria, gets a nice little fresh smell going in there. Another thing you can do is use Febreze. Some people like it, some people don't, but you can just spray that in there. The problem I see with Febreze though is when you spray it in there, there's still a little moisture that goes with it. So you have to be really careful with that. But one of the main things that I use is dryer sheets, and use that with a fan to kind of blow some fresh air in there.
Thanks Josh for letting us know how to keep our equipment clean. As you can see behind me, all the jerseys are clean and it smells pretty fresh in here. So now, let's do a little trivia, and we'll give you the answer at the end of the webisode. Here's the question. What date did head coach Jared Palmer score his first NHL goal? Was it A, April 24th, 2010, B, July 25th, 2013, C, December 29th, 2011, or D, February 1st, 2011? Gabe here with Imperials TV. I'm with Ming Chen, one of the stars of AMC's Comic Book Men. So what are you doing here in Sugar Land?
I love hockey. Now, it's September. I've been dying for hockey for 6-7 months. You know, where else can you get it but here in Sugar Land? The NHL hasn't even started yet, so I was just dying for some hockey. I love Sugar Land. I support Sugar Land. I love the Imperials. I'll always support them. And I just happen to be in town. I got to come to the home opener.
So are you a big hockey fan? How did that start?
I became a hockey fan. I'm a recent fan of hockey. If you watch Walt Flanagan on Comic Book Men, one of my coworkers, he is a diehard New Jersey Devils fan. And I before I started watching hockey, I would see him live and die by the New Jersey Devils. And I'm like, man, if something affects him this much, if he loves it this much, then I should probably get into it too. And sure enough, hockey.
So what do you think about the crowd tonight? It's our opening day.
I think if you're here, like they're definitely enthusiastic. This and I didn't even know hockey existed in Texas. To be honest with you, I knew the Dallas Stars were out there, but I didn't even. I thought it was always too hot for ice here. But I'm glad to be proven wrong, and I love seeing the hockey fans here in Texas.
So what is the get up here? The egg.
I'm an egg. My cousin Minsu is a huge supporter of this team, probably one of the biggest ones that I've ever met. Dressed up as bacon. I have a friend down there dressed as a taco. I think I saw some pancakes down there. So we're calling it a breakfast cosplay.
The Breakfast Club.
Yeah, it's the Breakfast Club right here at the Sugar Land Imperials home opener.
So last season we actually gave you a jersey with your name on it, and we saw you at Comic-Con. They interviewed you on Fox 26. How was that? Did you get any response from people?
Yeah, a lot of people. It's like, why are you in Texas and why are you wearing an Imperials jersey? I had to represent a little bit. I had to represent for sure. So that's one of my favorite jerseys.
Awesome. Well, we thank you for coming out to the Imperials and supporting us. Again, Ming Chen of Comic Book Men on AMC. Thanks for coming out.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thanks, Ming Chen, for the interview and being a supporter of Imperials hockey. Now we're going to take it back to Josh Funk, where he's going to show us what he does to the players' skates to get them ready for the next game. And also a very special ceremony the Imperials organization does before the season. Here you go.
So, in addition to being an assistant coach for the Sugar Land Imperials, I'm also the head equipment manager. So, step on in to the skate sharpening room. One of the nice things about playing on the Imperials is that they get their skates sharpened. We have our own skate sharpener in here. This is the equipment room. So, any equipment repairs that they need done, this is where they're going to come. We got helmets sitting out. We got skates. Players just put their skates down there. The other thing that I have players do is they'll write their number down here. Right here, we have Travis Witt's skates. So he's number 21. I look over on the board. He cuts it at 3/4 inch. Now what that means is on the stone. So we have a measuring tool here, right? We put that in here. It measures how much the skate is cut out. So going along the bottom here, 3/4 is a fairly dull cut. It ranges from an inch down to 0. A 0 is extremely sharp and nobody uses a 0. A very common one is 3/4, half, 5/8. Those are all very common cuts. So what I do when I sharpen skates, we have our holder right here. I put it on. I go up here. We have a little holder we snap on here. Make sure it's nice and tight in there. What I like to do, I do 5 passes, then I come through and I measure it again. Do 5 passes and then do 1 finishing. So I come through here, take this off, wipe it down. The last thing we need to do then is we take a stone. After you cut the blade, there's going to be spurs popping up here. So we just take the stone right through here, take off some of those spurs. Wipe it down, and we have a finished skate. Now this is going to be nice and sharp for Travis to skate on tomorrow at practice. Well, it's that time. First game of the season, home opener for the Sugar Land Imperials. It's very customary to have the logo of the team in the middle of the locker room. So we're going to lay down the carpet and start off to a good season. When we lay down this carpet, I have a big Sugar Land Imperial logo in the middle of the locker room. Some call it superstition, some call it respecting the team. But the number one thing you do is you don't ever step on the logo. The locker room is almost game day ready. Jerseys hanging, socks ready. The last thing we need to do is to roll out the logo.
So now, have you ever thought about what it would be like to be on the ice with the players during a game? Well, the league gave us permission. We put a GoPro on one of our refs, and this is the footage we've caught. Here you go. And now let's go back to the trivia question we had earlier. The answer is December 29th, 2011. I want to thank you for joining us for the very first webisode of The Pride. Don't forget to visit www.imperialshockey.com and visit Fan Central to join us on our social media sites.